Hi, today I am going to review the Illustrator Pre Test. So if there are some things you don't remember how to do, or some things maybe you did not learn because school ended early last year and we had to stop using the software, then this will be your chance to learn how to do some new things. So their first question was how to use the pen tool. You should all know how to use the pen tool, but just in case you forgot, the pen tool is here. Pen tool, and I always say to have none as your fill, and then your stroke can be any color that doesn't match whatever item you're tracing. So to use the pen tool, hold on, let me open up my navigator real fast. Remember, everything lives under Window in Illustrator just like it did in Photoshop. So if you don't see something over here that you want, go to Window and open it up. Okay, so I'm going to trace my apple. So to use the pen tool, you click and let go, and that leaves you that point and that little line that connects with it. Then you can go to a curve and you can click and hold. So I'm holding down on my mouse until I get that angle. And then I have to get rid of the handlebar. Remember the handlebar. So I'm going to click and let go. So I'm clicking once with my mouse right here. Handlebar disappears. So now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click and hold. Get close to that curve. And then remember, I got to get rid of the handlebar. So I'm going to click and let go. So click and hold, click and let go, click and hold, click and let go, click and hold, click and let go. I just kind of repeat it in my head so I don't forget. Now, I'm going kind of fast. I'm not really hitting all the edges quite perfect, and that's okay because this is just a review. Now, when I feel like I'm about ready to hit back where I started, I'm going to click and hold on that very first point right there. I'm going to click and hold, and that finishes the line. Now I've got that filled. Now the directions said, trace this apple with the pen tool and make it a blue fill with an orange stroke of 3 points. So I'm going to take my black selection arrow and highlight the stroke I just made. I'm going to come over here to my fill, which is currently none. I'm going to double click. I'm going to get a blue. So now it has a blue fill, and then I'm going to come over here to my stroke, which is black. I'm going to double click. I'm going to get an orange. Remember, you have to click on the color inside the box. Clicking in the rainbow over here, the slider bar, won't change anything. You have to click in the box. Now I'm going to say, okay, now I still need a stroke size of 3. So I'm going to go up to Window because I don't see stroke on the right. I'm going to scroll down. Remember, everything's in alphabetical order. There's stroke. I just hit the S's. I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to make the weight a 3. So now you can clearly see the stroke. So again, you can open anything you need from Window. So that's the first step. You can continue practicing and try to trace the leaf and the stem if you would like. Now, this says Live Trace this image to black and white. I have it locked, so I'm going to have to unlock it and click on it, and I'm going to have to go to Window, Image Trace. So Image Trace is going to let you trace this image. So Window, Image Trace. Now with it highlighted with the black selection arrow, I can come to Preset Default, and I can hit black and white. So I'm going to hit black and white. See how it changed the bulldog? I can change the threshold to give me more or less black, so I can kind of start to see his face appear. You can kind of play around with that however you want to until you like the image. Now, the next cool thing that you can do with this is you can break this into pieces and change colors. So let's say I highlight this with my black selection arrow. I can go to Object on the top toolbar and expand. When this box appears, you just say, okay. Now see how I've got more blue lines outlining everything? Now I'm going to right-click and ungroup. I'm going to do it twice. Right-click and ungroup. The first time never works. You always have to do it twice. Now I'm going to click off of it. When I click back on, see how I have some individual black pieces? Some of them connect because they're the same color, so you get some background with it, and that's okay. So what I want to do, I'm going to pull my color out here for a second. What I want to do while this is highlighted, I want to double-click on the black, and I want to pick a red. Now, see how it went gray? That's because my color switched to grayscale. So remember those 3 little lines? Click on that, you get more options. I'm going to pick RGB. Now it's the red that I picked up. So again, let's say I want to make the ear blue. I'm going to double click I'm going to go find a blue. But again, it went grayscale. So I'm going to hit my 3 little lines, go RGB, now it's blue. Then if I want to move all these pieces together, I'm on my black selection arrow. I'm going to click and drag and hold with my mouse until I've got all those pieces selected. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to group them. So now they're back together. Now they're back to being one piece. Okay, so number 3 says live trace this image to color with a max color of 12. So I'm going to click on this photograph right here with the black selection arrow. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go 16 colors. It says 12, but I can change it. So I'm going to go 16 colors. And you see her face changed, looks polarized. Now, right here where it says color 16, I can move it down until I get to 12. And so that made it simpler. There's a lot less colors going on now. So again, if I want to separate this, say I want to make her nose blue, I can leave it highlighted with my black selection arrow, go Object, Expand, OK, right-click, Ungroup, right-click, Ungroup, click away from it, click on the white space. Now they're separate pieces here. Now, because I image trace this one in color, when I go to double click and pick a color, it already goes to color. The color box does not change to grayscale because I traced her with color. So now I can go and pick different shades of blue and totally make her face blue. And again, if I want to put the pieces back together, black selection arrow, click and hold to highlight, right click, group. Now it's all one piece and I can move it together. All right, easy peasy. Now, number 4, write your name repeatedly on the line provided. So again, you want to make sure that you're on the exam layer and it's unlocked. You want to find the type tool, the big T, click and hold, and get the type on a path tool. So click and hold, get the angled type on a path tool. You have to click right on the beginning of the line. See how it's black and then when I get near it, it goes blue? Once it goes blue, that means it's activated. So you click and let go on the end of the line, and now it's got that Lorem Ipsum script running across it. So now I can type my name. Woodcock, Woodcock. Okay, so I don't want to type for 12 minutes to get to the end of that line, so I'm going to highlight my text. I'm going to come up here to type, and I'm going to go to size, and I'm going to make it really big. See how now my name's starting to go really big, so now it'll be a lot easier to finish. Now, see that little red line that appeared? That's saying, hey, you big dummy, you've got text hanging out here off the line, so if you want to read all that, you better back it up. So see how it disappeared? So if you add too much text, that red dot appears, and then you just backspace, and it will go away. Now, let's say I want to change the font. I can highlight it with my black selection arrow. I can go back to the type tool. I can open up my fonts. There's a ton of them. And you can just pick a font that you want. You can change your color. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. But once you click off of it, you don't see the line anymore. You just see the text that was on it. Now, the second to last step, create a gradient fill in the box that goes from red to violet to blue. Take your black selection arrow, click on your shape. Underneath your fill and your stroke, you have a little gradient box, this little grade box right here. Click on that. It has gone to grayscale. Now, I'm going to pull my gradient tab up here and my color tab. So, I'm on my shape. It's a gradient. I want to make these go red to blue. So I'm going to click on this white square, white circle. When I click on it, notice that this is going to go grayscale. See, it went grayscale, but we know how to fix that. 3 little lines, RGB. Now I can come over here and pick a red. Okay, so I've got my red. Now, I want to add blue. So see how this plus sign appears when I move below the gradient slider bar? I'm going to click and let go. It gave me an extra tab down here. So now I'm going to go get my blue. So now I've got red and blue, but I don't need black. So I'm going to click and hold on this, pull it down, and get rid of it. Now I can slide that blue over And red and blue make violet. So it's already got the purple in the middle, which is what the assignment asks you to do. It asks you to go red to violet to blue. So easy peasy. All right, what's in the last step? Ungroup the text and edit the shapes of each letter. So to do this, take your black selection arrow, highlight your text, zoom in here a little bit. We're going to right-click, create outlines. We're going to right-click and ungroup. And we only had to ungroup once this time. So now if I click off, all of my text is separated, but I want to change it more. So with a letter highlighted with the black selection arrow, you can come to your pen tool, and so you can take your pen tool and you can hit these little blue corners and it will delete anchor points. So you can change what the font looks like by clicking on these little points, but you really do have to zoom in, or at least I do because my eyes are older than yours, because I have trouble seeing the points. And if you miss a point, then it just starts drawing a line and everything goes haywire. But that is it, my friends. That is how you complete the Illustrator Pre-Test. So if you need to, go back and practice again and make sure you remember how to do everything, okay? Let me know if you have any questions.